Did you know that around 75% of people don't know how much they spent last month? You see, what gets measured gets managed. That's where the power of budgeting comes in. You cannot reach your monetary goals and financial freedom if you don't know how much you make and where it goes on a deeper level. Having a generic idea will not help, as it's not enough. Welcome to the guide on mastering the art of budgeting. In today's video, we'll be diving into the world of personal finance. We'll discuss what a budget is, why it can be a game changer, and how you can create a budget that works for you. So let's get good with budgeting. Hi everyone, my name is Aiena. I'm a flight attendant and a cabin crew trainer. Apart from travel, other topics that excite me are leadership, health and wellness. Welcome to this channel. Did you know that the first recorded budget dates back to the ancient Egyptians around 3000 BC? They created detailed records to manage the distribution of grain and other resources. Fast forward to today and budgeting is still a cornerstone of financial stability and success. Sadly, 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's a staggering number. Budgeting is one of the most important topics that you'll ever learn in life when it comes to money management. As a side note, you don't need to have lots of money to start budgeting. First things first, what exactly is a budget? Simply put, a budget is a plan for your money. It's a tool that helps you track your income and expenses, allowing you to make informed decisions about your spending and saving habits. A budget is essentially a financial roadmap. Think of it as a GPS for your finances, guiding you to your financial destination. It's not about restriction, but rather about control and making your money work for you. But why is budgeting so important? The importance of making a budget is a financial lesson that cannot be overemphasized. Budgeting is like wearing a seatbelt. It protects you from financial accidents and helps you to build on wealth. Well, a good budget helps you to live within your means and not overspend. A budget gives you a realistic picture of where you are spending your money, as most of us underestimate the amount of money we spend on stuff that we don't need to impress the people we don't like. We live in a world in which we sometimes have no control over our spending, especially that impulse buy. These days, people who overuse and abuse credit cards don't always realize they're overspending until they're drowning in debt. However, if you create and stick to a budget, you're more likely to not find yourself in this position. With a budget, you'll know exactly how much money you earn, how much you can afford to spend each month, and how much you need to save. Budgeting can help you save for short-term and long-term goals. For short-term goals such as an expensive cell phone or that cashmere sweater in the store window that might seem unattainable right now, a budget can help you understand what you need to do to get to that goal. A budget also helps you figure out what your long-term goals are, such as investing in mutual funds and working towards them. If you just drift aimlessly through life, tossing your money at every shiny new object that happens to catch your eye, How will you ever save up enough money to buy that car or put a down payment for that house you've been wanting to buy? Building a budget forces you to take a closer look at your spending habits. When reviewing your expenses, you might notice that you're spending money on things you don't need, such as a cable TV subscription. I have a friend who, after careful analysis, could cut down on her groceries bill by 30% as she was buying stuff that she didn't need. Budgeting allows you to rethink your spending habits and refocus your financial goals. A lot of people live in constant fear of what will happen if they don't have enough money in the future. Budgeting can help you work towards an emergency fund and build on that retirement fund, thus reducing useless stress that comes with financial instability. When you get good at budgeting, you become acutely aware of both your income sources and spending habits and start making better financial decisions that are driven by numbers and not emotions. You start investing your money and you let it grow when you're sleeping. It can also help some people to avoid debt or even get out of it faster. Now let's talk about a popular budgeting method, the 50-30-20 rule. I briefly talked about it in one of the previous videos. This rule is simple yet effective. Here's how it works. 50% of your income should go towards your needs. These are essentials like rent, groceries, utilities, and transportation. 30% of your income is wants. This is your fun money. Think dining out, entertainment, gym subscriptions, other subscriptions, and hobbies. 20% of your income goes towards savings and debt repayment. This includes your emergency fund, retirement savings, and paying off any loans or credit card debt. This rule is a great starting point, especially if you're new to budgeting, because it's easy to remember and apply. You can adjust these percentages based on your financial goals and lifestyle. This rule provides a balanced approach to managing your money, ensuring you cover essentials while still enjoying life and planning for the future. Depending on the city that you live in and your lifestyle, your needs can range between 50 to 60%, your wants from 20 to 30%, and your savings must be a minimum of at least 10% of your income. So how do we create a budget? Now, there are a lot of apps that you can use to create a budget, or create your own on an Excel sheet or Google Sheets, and plain old paper and pen works well too. Whichever method you choose to use, the steps will remain the same. The foundation of an effective budget is your net income. That's your take-home pay. It's total wages or salary minus deductions for taxes and employer-provided programs such as retirement plans and health insurance. Focusing on your total salary instead of net income could lead to overspending, because you'll think you have more available money than you actually do. If you're a freelancer, gig worker, contractor, or are self-employed, make sure to keep detailed notes of your contracts and pay in order to help manage irregular income. Net income also includes dividends that you might be getting on a regular basis. Once you know how much money you have coming in, the next step is to figure out where it's going. Tracking and categorizing your expenses can help you determine what you are spending the most money on, and where it might be easiest to save. When it comes to categorization, I'll share a few of them with you, but you can create your own categories too. Begin by listing your fixed expenses. These are regular monthly bills such as rent or mortgage, utilities, and car payments. Next, list your variable expenses, those that might change from month to month, such as groceries, gas, and entertainment. This is an area where you might find opportunities to cut back if you need to. Credit card and bank statements are a good place to start since they often itemize or categorize your monthly expenditures. If money is too tight, you can always drop your, say, gym membership and curtail your dining out spending. But you are likely always going to have to pay for that rent or your mortgage, right? If you've never created a budget, record your daily spending. A month's details will give you a great reflection point for your expenses. To see patterns in your spending, do it for at least 3 months. Now divide them into 3 categories: needs, wants, and savings and debt repayment, and see how your spending aligns with the 50-30-20 rule. If you're overspending in one category, adjust your budget to bring it back into balance. You should never be in the red. That is, you should never spend more than you bring in. So be mindful of the lure of this consumerist world. Once you have a stable income, the rule that I'd like you to start following is to put at least 20% of your income into another account. That's the first thing you should do when money comes in. You can label it as your savings account. You see, out of sight is out of mind, and the rule that follows is that you cannot spend it on a need or a want. In the long run, that 20% can increase to 30 and even more. Before you start sifting through the information you've tracked, make a list of your short and long-term financial goals. Short-term goals should take around 1 to 3 years to achieve and might include things like setting up an emergency fund or paying down credit card debt. Your emergency fund should have at least 3 to 6 months of basic expenses in your 20s and 30s, and at least a year's expenses in your 40s and onwards. Long-term goals such as saving for retirement or your child's education may take decades to reach. Remember, your goals don't have to be set in stone, but identifying them can help motivate you to stick to your budget. For example, it may be easier to cut spending if you know you're saving for a vacation. Now that you've documented your income and spending, you can make any necessary adjustments so that you don't overspend and have enough money to put toward your goals. Look toward your wants as the first area for cuts. Can you skip movie nights in favor of a movie at home? If you've already adjusted your spending on wants, take a closer look at your spending on monthly payments. On close inspection, a need may just be a hard thing to part with. Have a deeper look at them. Could you, for instance, save more by shopping around for a better rate on auto or homeowners insurance? Such decisions come with big trade-offs, so make sure you carefully weigh your options. A personal example for you. Now, you might agree or disagree that an internet connection has become a necessity. I'll say For most of us, it's a need. I was unhappy with my service provider about the services and the exorbitant price that they were charging. After careful analysis, I changed my internet provider and cut down on that fixed expense that I need. Remember, even small savings can add up to a lot of money. You might be surprised at how much extra money you accumulate by making one minor adjustment at a time. Once your budget is set, it's important to review it and your spending on a regular basis to be sure you are staying on track. Very few elements of your budget are set in stone. You may get a pay rise, your expenses might change, or you may reach a goal and want to plan for a new one. You don't have to be super strict with your budget to manage your money. Sometimes you'll probably spend money on silly stuff, make mistakes, or buy things on impulse that you might regret later. That's totally okay. What is important is to have a deep understanding of what's coming in and what's going out of your accounts and analyze it on a regular basis. Go ahead and have fun and experiment with different forms of budgeting so that you get a good feel of what works for you and something that will be sustainable in the long run. Please know that it's never too early to start budgeting. Remember, budgeting is a skill that takes practice. Don't be discouraged if it takes a few months to get it right. The key is to stay consistent and keep adjusting until you find what works for you. Budgeting might seem like a chore at first, but it's actually a powerful tool for financial freedom. Fun fact for you, according to a study, people who budget are 50% more likely to achieve their financial goals and 272% more likely to report that they are financially stable. So start budgeting today and take control of your financial future. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more tips on saving, investing, and building wealth. On that note, till we meet again, Aiena signing off, and may budgeting help you clear up your mind and gain financial stability and freedom.